Hello and welcome to Game 2 of the Acktheboker azder matchup. Very sorry about that. I am Zethno and I will be joined here by Arshap. How are you doing today?
You know, I tried to qualify for this tournament, but I didn't make it.
For some reason, my eyes jumped right down to the wrong line on the screen there. But so we just had Game 1 of this series on this channel for the last 2 hours. Azder did take round 1, or Game 1, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I think one of the important things to note is that Acktheboker is the higher seed coming into this. So we'll see if Ack can bring it back or if Azder takes the win.
Yeah, it was a really interesting race. I think, from my point of view, one of the bigger plays was Ack opting to head into pod without a hammer, and Azder just heading over to Meyer, and Azder was able to build up a bit of a lead there. But execution-wise and other routing-wise, it was pretty neck and neck. So I expect we'll see more good action in this game too.
Always nice to see those close races where both runners have great execution and we're just looking for those tiny small things. And these two runners are both excellent runners. And I have to say probably any runner that made the bracket stages are probably excellent runners.
Yeah, almost goes without saying at this point. Everyone left is pretty good at this game. Hey, we've started.
Oh, look at that. Green 20 right off the bat. That was a mail upgrade.
Yep.
So, quick reminder for anyone unaware, there are a few things taken out of the pool because this is a hard pool seed. Anytime we find one of those items, it will show up as a red 20. Airship, I don't know if you want to go over the things that have been taken out while our runners go through the normal escape.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is a big part of standard right here, is starting with a random weapon from the uncle, and as you can see, it's the blue cane today. Last race was bomb start. This is the blue cane start, so probably the two worst starting weapons, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
But guards having magic drops is definitely going to help. That's probably the biggest annoyance about starting with the blue cane, is it's a magic hog, and by the time you get all the way to the back of the sewers and have to fight that key rat, you could be running low on magic, so magic drops from the guards is going to be really helpful.
I missed it. Was that a small magic, the first one?
I thought I saw big magic as well.
Big.
So I don't think it's the high value pool, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I was wondering if we had that bomb drop in the pool, because if the first one's a small, we have a bomb, but it looks like not.
Yeah. As you were saying, Zethno, there are some items taken out of the item pool in this hard item pool. So you're not going to be seeing any mail upgrades. You're not going to be seeing silver arrows. You're not going to be seeing the 4th sword upgrade. Hearts are capped at 14. I know last seed was very stingy on hearts. So those are just some of the, things that make the hard item pool hard, I guess. You're not going to see a 3rd shield either, but no one cares about that, right?
Yeah, the only time I ever see that being a problem is for some runners on Laser Bridge. If they're missing the boots and missing an invulnerability item, it can get a little dicey. Yeah. But as was mentioned earlier, the runners that are left probably won't have too much of an issue with that.
Yeah. So yeah, both runners doing pretty well so far. Have almost an identical amount of magic. Heading on down to grab this key and open up Zelda's cell.
So here's the question: do you just use the pots here?
Absolutely.
To preserve magic?
100%. Yeah, no question. Yeah, it takes two pot tosses there, as you saw over on Azder's side.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to run out of magic before the end, because that could get quite dicey.
Yeah, there are a few small magic drops under pots in the sewer as you work your way back. So you do have opportunities to fill up your magic a little bit. And of course, if you run out of magic completely and die, you will respawn back at the front of the escape sequence with magic again. So you're not going to see anyone get stuck, but not making it through the first time is a huge time loss. So we want to hope that both runners are able to make it all the way to the key rat at the end and make it through.
Oh, yeah. A death anywhere within this whole escape sequence just feels so bad and just puts you so far behind at this point that you just feel behind for the rest of the race.
Yep. So as you see, azder, yep, using those pots to farm a bit more magic from the guards, really smart heads-up play. Looks like Ack's going to try to do the same. No luck, though.
Definitely. Well, the snakes are in the same drop pool, so he may just try to use Burna and refill his magic in that first snake room.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's so many snakes in this room coming up that it's a safe assumption that you'll find magic in there if you just turn your cane on. But of course, rats, which you're about to start seeing in the sewer here, are on a different prize pack than the guards and the snakes. So if we are going to find bombs here outside of a chest, it's going to be on rats. The problem, of course, with Cane of Burna is it's just tough to farm them. Oh, there's a sword.
No longer tough to farm them. And Ack completely walked past those snakes. That wasn't the thinking. But he's going to be really happy with this sword.
Yeah, that's really nice. The rat holding the key, it spawns in the same spot every time, but it can move a little erratically. So having the sword is a safer way of killing it is really nice.
Yeah, it looks like we're not getting bombs today, though. Unfortunate. The nice thing about it for our runners is that they both know that the other runner couldn't get it because they're not in the pool, so it's not that one runner was unable to get the drop while the other did. But I have a feeling we'll see them back here as soon as someone finds mitts. Or gloves. A lift upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the real early game nightmare scenario. I was just thinking like, oh man, my opponent probably found, I don't know, all of their Dark World access in this check that I couldn't do. But no big deal this time. We'll see it a bit later. Alright, azder heading over to the Kakariko area. Ack, I imagine, is going to do the same thing. Looks like azder is going to head right into Lost Woods. So we get a map check. Saw red crystal eastern, blue crystal Hera, and I didn't catch desert.
Yeah, unfortunately I had to look away for 1 second, so I'm not sure either, but I'm sure someone will let us know very soon.
Alright, both runners heading into Lost Woods here, so we're not going to get eyes on Lumberjack. Oh, desert was a red crystal as well. Interesting. So we could see an early Pyramid Fairy play, although we do need some items to get into desert, so could be a bit before we finish it. We'll see. Alright, into Kakariko we go. azder is going to be forced to either find bombs in the back of the pub here, or buy some. And hey, we did get a bomb drop. Ack on the other end is just going to buy some bombs, so it's probably going to be a little peeved to see them for free in just a moment. And here Ack is about to make the discovery. Alright, so north they go. Ack is going to start in the chicken hut. azder's going to start in the well.
We'll be seeing both of those checks from both runners relatively soon anyways.
Yep. Gosh, it always feels so bad when you buy bombs and then just see them all over Kakariko like this. But there's a glove, so
That's
that
gotta
does
feel nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That does give us there's a 10 bomb drop even. That does give us access to the back of Escape, like we were just talking about.
The one thing that always worries me if I don't get that back of escape area, if I don't find a bomb, or sorry, if I don't find gloves relatively early, then I start worrying that my first glove will actually be back there, and you have to walk the entire length of escape again to get it.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. Not gonna be happening today though.
But our runners really haven't found anything else of importance yet.
No, just a whole lot of life and bombs and money. Azder is saving and quitting. You know, it's funny. Azder almost, I think, on accident skipped the race game in game 1 by accidentally getting picked up by the bird on the flute. This time, intentionally skipping the race game and just heading right to the back of Escape here.
Hey, you know what? It worked in race 1. You won race 1. Why not do it again?
Yep. All right, back of Escape, just a heart, some bombs, of course. What else? And some money. So with basically no equipment giving us, like, I don't know, Eastern access or logical mountain access, I think we're going to see some pretty standard South Shore routing there on both sides. Azder heading down to the dam. And we'll see what Ack does in just a moment.
South Shore is a pretty standard play. You're going to probably come down here at some point, whether you do it now or later.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see people maybe delay it if you can go do Eastern with the hopes that, like, hey, maybe I'll find my Moon Pearl and some money, and then I can route in Zora along with South Shore, that sort of thing. But in this case, there's just no other good options, really.
Yeah, speaking of Zora, our runners are going to need 500 rupees if they want to buy that item.
Yep, sure they will both be happy to see that Master Sword over more rupees, though. So a very early Master Sword. Of course, that's one of those key items that just starts screaming Aghanim Dark World Access, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, you know, I see that early and I go, oh, please don't give me Lamp. Please don't give me Lamp.
Yeah.
Because Lamp will be logical access to finish Aghanim. Yeah, the seed's been really kind in hearts. Our runners have a lot of heart. Oh, there's Lamp.
Well, now the question is, when do you do it? I think it's a little premature at this point, but
it definitely is. And the thing is that if you do all of your in-logic checks, sometimes you find that Dark World access and you don't have to do it. And if you do that Aga play early, you end up losing a lot of time. But if you do the Aga play early and it's required, then you save a lot of time. So
yeah, getting it this early is tough with so many checks still on the board. Like with Crystal Eastern, it always feels bad heading in there without the bow, knowing you're gonna have to come back later to complete it. And we do have logical mountain access now, but there's not a whole lot to do up on the mountain just yet. So we have some awkward checks to make before committing to Aga, which is why you might see one of them do it early. We'll see.
I'm wondering if we're about to see that mountain check that you just mentioned from Azder, because there's not much else up here.
Yeah. Now would be a really good time to go get eyes on Lumberjack too, since Aga's in Logic, we don't have the boots to claim whatever's on Lumberjack Ledge, but now is when I start thinking like, hey, I might need to make a trip to Lumberjack at some point.
that definitely makes sense. We'll see if Ashter's
Nope.
thinking the same thing. He's not.
Yeah, just going right up the mountain. So azder will be able to save the old man and go check one thing up in Spectacle Rock. Or I guess check two things, but I have access to one thing up in Spectacle Rock. Looks like Ack is heading over to the eastern area after seeing that there's nothing on Lake Hylia Island. So do you go into eastern at this point, Zethno?
Oh, that's such a hard choice. And in a racer's mind too, you're thinking, what's better, what's faster. It feels bad because it's a crystal, but there are potentially 3 items there, and if you're dark,
Ooh.
well, that helps.
Yeah, I would say so. So obviously, Moon Pearl, we needed to do anything in the Dark World. That's even one more reason to go do Aga, is now you know, like, after I do Aga, I can actually get some things done in the Dark World. But yeah, boots, very, very nice, obviously.
The boots, even if they have to do Aga, just climbing that whole tower, it's just so much faster with boots.
Yeah. Thankfully, azder's going to pick him up as well. So we're not going to see a seed decided by who gets the boots way in advance.
You know, I prefer it this way. Watching a seed, commentating a seed, just to have the runners closer in that particular item. Makes it more interesting.
Yep. Yeah, there's that lumberjack check, which is even more important to go check out now that we have the boots. It was, unfortunately, just 20 rupees. I think at this point, if it's looking like it's an Aga seed, and I go see there is in fact something on lumberjack, it's almost a relief. It just makes the decision for you.
Yeah, that's definitely true. If you know you're going to have to do it eventually, you have boots, you know you'll have to do it, why not just do it now? Master Sword's good enough.
Yep. Azder is making that Eastern play.
Well, we'll see. Old man giving us 20 rupees, not particularly helpful. I guess he thought Link deserved the tip there.
Yeah, a modest tip, yeah.
Yeah, not a 300 rupee one, that's for sure.
No. It's actually not nothing, though, because we are nearing the amount of money we need to go pay Zora.
Yeah, it's close. There is that potential that if a runner really feels like doing that, especially with Moon Pearl, going up there and doing all those checks, they can get the rupees in the back of Eastern.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You would have to go a bit further into Eastern than you would otherwise without a bow in order to get those 90 rupees, but yeah, it is possible.
I mean, theoretically, you could just jump in there before going to right side, but Ack finding the other way of getting rupees.
Yeah, that's you don't see that too often in standard or open seeds. Kind of an interesting choice, given that he was less than 100 rupees away from his Zora money, but he won't have to worry about, I don't know, paying Kiki in the Dark World or being able to afford the digging game or anything like that. So, not a bad choice.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that problem come into play later in races. So
yeah, looks like Ack was setting up a water walk state, so probably going to see the Zora player right now. He does need to jump down, or he's going to store the water walk state and yep, set up fig flippers here.
He'll get it from Hobo.
Yep.
Eastern did not pay off, unfortunately, for azder.
Not a big surprise.
It was the most dense location left to them.
Yeah. With this screaming Aga though. Yeah, not a huge surprise, but you know, there will be a bit of backtracking when azder has to go clean it up later with the bow. But you know, gets to skip the vanilla big key chests and stuff like that next time, so not the worst.
Oh, azder turning in the mushroom as well. Just fully clearing up all these potentials.
Yep. What's it gonna be?
Oh. Back found ether. I think that was a hard reset on azder's side, trying to save the mushroom for fake powder for later.
Yeah, it makes sense. We do need the Cane of Samaria to use the fake powder glitch if we do choose to do it later, but yeah, hanging on the mushroom is a smart play. Looks like Asher's also going to head over to Zora here, so... Ooh, nice half magic.
Yeah, that's definitely worth 500 rupees. It's not what our runners wanted, but it's worth 500 rupees.
Yeah. Yeah, with only the blue cane, it's not the most useful thing in the world. But, you know, if we do find a fire rod or something a little later, it'll be nice.
We will have that silverless Ganon fight, so that's always nice, especially if somehow our runners never find Tempered Sword.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extremely unlikely, but in the event that they have to do Master Sword silverless.
That would be a pretty typical rando seed, though. If was that?
Oh, neither one of them checked that early.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
my god.
Oh, wow, and the sword. That's huge. They both skipped those two checks, and man, Ack came back at the right time.
Yeah, Ack must be thinking like, gosh, azder must have had this, you know, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, speaking of Master Sword silverless, we won't be seeing that today.
Nope. That's really funny.
Oh wow, that's gonna feel really bad for azder, especially too. Like as you mentioned, Ack's not feeling good about this, but azder's gonna have left that right till the end.
Yeah. Yeah, of course the flute, you know, will, if Myers or Crystal logically will need it, that sort of thing, but you're gonna get the most value from a flute when you're just running all over the light world doing light world checks, and hey, we did all those already.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't have it earlier, but it is what it is. So where does Ack go next? I think he's cleared almost everything.
Yeah, he didn't dip into Eastern, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see if he elects to do that before the Aga play.
Where's the flute to? Desert. Yep.
Okay. Do we see Agina yet?
Ooh!
There's no flippers. Can't actually get to those just yet.
Good to know where that is, though. I don't think we've seen Agina.
azder is heading over to Aga, though.
So we have one runner on Agina and the other on Aghanim.
Yep.
Not a confusing name sequence.
Nope. Why did the developers have to do this to us?
I've definitely heard people confuse those when they're learning. You start telling them to check one or the other, and they get confused because they say they've already checked it.
Yeah, a lot of names to memorize and link to the best randomizer. Ack is gonna dip into Eastern here.
So I find it really interesting that azder never went to race game or the library before doing the Aga play.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand why he put it off initially. He had to sort of come into Kakariko from the south to buy bombs, or to find bombs. But yeah, sort of an interesting choice. I guess this is what we were talking about though. It's like when your item loadout is just screaming Aga, at some point you just got to do it, and you can either take the time to check every single thing and then maybe you feel a little behind, or you just do it.
Yeah. On a positive note, those items, while being extremely helpful, are not locking any sort of logic quite yet.
No. I guess depending on what azder does after cleaning up Aga, Temperate Sword could be nice, but that's about it. And as we saw in Game 1, where azder was on Master Sword for a bit longer than Ack was, azder does just fine with Master Sword.
So as we're kind of approaching the end here, little blue ball guessing game.
Oh gosh, what's the average is like 3, right?
The average is 3. Yes.
All right, so let's say 15.
So to our viewers, let us know in chat, how many blue balls do you think Aga will shoot out? There are the non-reflectable attacks that we get from Aga. What just happened on azder's screen?
I have no idea.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, someone check the link to the past patch notes and see if Aga has a new ability.
But yeah, so the first one is always a guaranteed good reflectable, and then the next few have a 50-50 shot, and then we have the lightning.
Yeah. Of course, these are seeded, so even if you have a really annoying blue ball filled Aga fight, your opponent will as well.
So that's 1. Yeah, I didn't say it before we started. I've always said 4 to this, but just slightly above average, I guess.
Yeah, like a little annoying, but not like meme annoying.
Yeah, not the worst possible scenario. I think it is 15, isn't it?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Assuming the player plays perfectly and Aga is the most annoying, I think it's 15.
Yep.
Oh, I think that was 2.
Pretty nice. Almost as good as you get. So into the Dark World azder goes. Ack still cleaning up these Light World checks.
We did get a few people in chat that guessed too, so congrats to those who did. And now we've got people guessing too afterwards. And there are the myths, and that's access to the rest of our Dark World.
And we had Pendant Thieves Town, Pendant Turtle Rock, and Pendant Pod, I believe.
Yes. I saw the same.
And it was Pod that was a green pendant?
Oh, now I'm trying to picture it again. I believe so, yes. I knew when I was looking at it, but yeah, I believe Pod was green. Oh, so Pendant Pod. So we'll be dipping in there for some required item, right?
Absolutely. And Thieves Town.
Pendant Thieves Town just feels so bad every time I see it. Because it's a dungeon you just want to go in and just do early because you can.
Yeah.
Although they don't have a hammer yet, so they're probably happy that they don't necessarily have to make that decision.
I don't know. I saw a race just yesterday where Hammer was in the back of Pendant Thieves Town. It happens. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they sort of hold off going into Thieves Town for a little bit to make that decision on whether to go all the way to the back a little easier. Yeah, it's a tough call, though.
Yeah, we always talk about that thing of trying to always clear crystal dungeons, but we can't.
Yeah.
We cannot clear a single crystal dungeon yet.
Yeah, small detail about that. Dungeons have item requirements, and you need them.
Yeah. We'll see. The front of Skullwoods many times comes out with something really good.
Yeah, it's easy to make this choice after coming out of that portal. It's just a few steps north.
Yeah, clear it. Find out if there's anything here so you know for later. It is a crystal. So theoretically, if the items are in the back and there's nothing important in the front, the runners can save time if they wait on this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one reason that you will see people put this off a little bit, is the hope that, hey, I'm gonna walk, I don't know, to C-shape house and find my fire rod and be able to do Skullwoods a bit more efficiently back to front.
Meanwhile, Ack is almost at Aga. So this time for the blue ball game, I'm gonna say 2.
What gives you that idea?
A gut feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I don't know, I think this is pretty similar to how Game 1 went early too, though. Ack was just a little bit more thorough. And here we are.
I think we found one item in Skullwoods, unless I missed one so far.
Sounds right.
It's just rubies, so that's not any help.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it. So you're gonna go check Bumper Ledge.
Definitely a nice visual thing to get right here. You can also check the other North Dark World checks while here.
No mirror yet, right? Which is sort of, which is significant because the best time to mirror over to the race game in the library would be as we're heading south. So, as you're hoping you find that mirror in the next few checks.
Yeah, that would be good, especially with Meyer being a crystal. So that flute is extremely required.
Yeah, totally. Not really a big deal just yet. Of course, we get to the point where, I don't know, we're flying to Ice Palace or flying over to the pod portal or something. It's going to be pretty helpful, along with Meyer, of course. Yeah, that sword too is pretty big. As during Game 1 got bailed out by finding the 4th sword instead of grabbing the one in the race game that he skipped. But the sword's definitely helpful, especially as we start thinking about, Meyer and that sort of thing. Hopefully we don't have to go into Turtle Rock, but those tougher dungeons. There's a hammer on Catfish.
That is such a bad place for it.
Yeah, that stinks.
Like, you don't even want to head over to Pod. No. Yeah, one of the things you don't really want to do Pod without the hammer. You can.
Yeah.
But you might delay it, and if you delay it, you delay Catfish as a result. That could end poorly.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't have a bow and no potions to make, using a bottle glitch to get to the Bowluck side easier. So it might be a bit before we see, a pendant pod dip, but I don't know. Hammer's definitely one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the pendant. That's going to make them even less likely to head over to that side of the world. They've already checked Pyramid, too.
Yeah. Or more likely if you're confident that, like, hey, I can dip into pod and I don't actually need to finish it. I can just find my progression and peace out. Yeah, we'll see.
Asher is basically standing on top of where his flute is in the other world.
Oh, feels bad.
So it seems that we have Bombos as a requirement for Meyer.
Asher just did about 3,000 digs for a single green rupee prize. Oof.
That is a lot of digs, but...
Yeah, making up for the very nice and convenient Aga fight, I guess. Seed had to make us upset somehow.
I'm just hoping azder goes back and gets that sword and the flute.
Yeah, and the hammer now too. So there's 3 important items that we know about that we're just sort of hoping azder comes across. And there's the mirror in Hype Cave. So azder could find that, turn around, go to Cave 45, and then grab, I guess, the race grain to vibrate check, but he's got the frog. I don't know how he's gonna wrap this.
Yeah, that would be kind of awkward. Ack, however, without the frog, doing exactly what you mentioned, heading back to Cave 45.
Yeah, might head north and just do the smith chain.
Oh, yeah.
azder is doubling back as well.
Both runners having the same idea here.
Yeah, we're actually going to be really close suddenly, despite the amount of time that it took Ack to head over to Aga. I guess azder does have the front of Skullwoods on Ack, but other than that...
That hammer is going to be
a
big thing, though.
Yeah, small detail. You're right. azder digging up his... or Ack digging up his garbage. Turn right around.
azder heading up. Please, please, please. Whoa, he didn't mirror at the base of the race game, so he didn't look.
It's killing me.
I want him to go back. Yes,
yeah.
yes, okay. Got the sword at least.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. This sort of gives us a tell that, like, hey, he hasn't just fully put these checks off or forgotten about them.
Still leaving race game, though.
Yeah, he might... I don't know. I don't actually... Chad could probably help out here, but I don't know if he can take the smith into the race game or not. You might assume you can't. There's the cape.
That kind of makes sense, but I kind of wonder why just not checking race game with the mirror from the base. I guess the mirror does take quite a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently he did see the flute.
I don't know. He left his portal down here.
Oh, so he did mirror to take a look. I just missed it.
Oh, okay.
So that makes a lot more sense. I was wondering, like, you're here, you may as well at least check if it's worth doing while you're here, so you don't come back.
Right. Well, he is gonna grab it, and in the time he took to grab it, Ack turned in the purple chest and found 10 arrows, which are useless. Junk.
So for anyone that was watching azder's side, you did see some of the differences that happened in the light world now that you've defeated Aga. There's actually a guard in the middle of race game.
That guard is really fast, too.
Yeah,
the fittest, buffest guard in all of Hyrule just happens to be chilling outside of a library for some reason. I don't know.
Well, he's already in really good shape, so he's just working out his mind now.
That's a great point. Hey, we're in desert.
Yeah, so we are. Hold on, we don't have the book. So there is using the back way in, which is actually the faster way in this dungeon.
Yeah, and it's not boots lock, not that it really matters, since both runners have those.
Yeah, we do have a fire source to finish out the back, so this is actually our first completable crystal dungeon. Speaking of, clear those crystal dungeons.
Yeah, we're gonna have our first crystal at what, like 41 minutes or something?
That sounds about right. That's a long time for a first crystal.
Yeah. We have cleared out a lot of this game though, so it's totally possible the remaining crystals will just fall into place.
For sure, it's just that a lot of those early checks really led to nothing at all. Yeah, there was a good question in chat as to the logic of Desert Palace. The logic does include entering this dungeon the back way, the way that both the runners are doing. So these are all in logic checks.
Yep. We may not ever see that book.
Unless one of the tablets has something important.
Yeah, but we're hoping they don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, Ack, enjoying one of the cutscenes in this video game. And here's a boss.
As we said, that's a really annoying cutscene too. Ooh, Burna strats.
Yeah, that's... I don't know, sword spins are pretty slow in this fight, even with tempered swords, so... I believe each hit of a Burna counts as a fighter sword swing, so it's still probably faster to do tempered spins, as Ack ultimately decided here, but... Yeah, but 40 minutes and 6 seconds, Ack has a crystal, folks.
Yeah. It's about a minute faster than the previous estimate that we just had, but that's always, yeah, still over 40 minutes for a first crystal is quite a long time.
Yeah. And Ack did elect to hold off on the big chest, which you're seeing more and more runners do in this scenario, where it's a 50-50 about the second item being on the boss. So Ack's gonna hop in and grab that real quick.
It makes a lot of sense if the dungeon's a crystal. You know you're going to have to do the boss, so you may as well go do the boss, and if it turns out to be nothing, you just come back in.
Yeah, totally. Just some more money.
Because we need that.
I mean, we can fill all of our bottles with potions.
Yes, but these runners don't need the potions. Or at least not that much of potions, not 600 rupees worth.
Yeah, they don't need bottles either, if the seed so far is any indication. And there is our fire rod.
Yeah, that's important. Ack getting those blocks out of the way with his mirror.
Yeah.
Nice use of that little glitch.
Have to imagine Azure will go pick that up as well.
Oh, for sure. That actually does give us another completable crystal. And Ack is heading right there.
Yeah. And this is where Ack's gonna save a little bit of time. I believe he didn't do the front of this, right? So, nope, never mind. He's going south.
Oh, well. Of course, our runners do a very good job of doing the exact opposite of what the commentators say, just to make us look bad.
Yeah. This actually does make sense. He had some Village of Outcasts checks to clean up, and by doing these first, once he's done with Skullwoods, he might be able to just save and quit out of there instead of having to walk through the dungeon again. Or he might want to head over to Graveyard Ledge after Skullwoods as well. So, this makes sense.
I agree. It 100% makes sense. Well, that hammer is still going to make a little bit of a difference between our runners, though. When will Azure go all the way over to Catfish?
Yeah. It feels like one of those scenarios where, like, the more progression you find, the further and further away from going to Catfish he gets, right? Like,
yeah.
You're
just not going to go there if you have anything even semi-dense.
Yeah. Yep, azder is going to go clean up Skullwoods here.
Actually, there's a good conversation in chat. When azder was up in the Zora area, he did not have the rupees to do it. So there's actually 2 checks over there for him.
Yep, that's the dream way of running that in, right? Is just mirroring from Catfish to clean up Zora area. So yeah, that's a bit more appealing than Catfish usually is.
Definitely not as appealing as finishing a crystal dungeon, which is why we see Skullwoods.
Totally, and we did only find one item, right? So there's a guaranteed item in the back here.
As we discussed before, going with the boss first before checking the other chest, because you need to do the boss one way or the other.
Yeah, this is probably the first point too where we're going to be thankful that azder has that tempered sword that he missed out on early. Mothula tempered sword is pretty trivial, just 4 sword slashes. Whereas master sword can get a little hairy, especially without a hammer.
Yes, this boss is definitely one of the more difficult ones for a lot of runners, especially if they're learning. But azder made that look extremely easy.
Yeah, it sort of feels like a cold stare, or Ganon even, where yeah, the difference between master sword and tempered sword is just pretty massive. So azder's showing you why that tempered sword is helpful.
So what do you think we're... Oh, azder... Fluting?
Yeah, fluting.
I was going to ask you where you thought he was going, but... Oh, this makes sense. We're going up the mountain. We have mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, without the hammer or hookshot, this is going to be like one extra trip up the mountain, where Zach is going to be able to clear out the east side as well when he comes up here. But yeah, it makes sense. Head to dungeons.
Yeah, it's a completable crystal dungeon. Why not? But as you're right, Ack's going to have a much better time with that trip with a hammer.
It really, I don't know, when I'm evaluating how my runs go, so much of it is like me thinking back to how many times I climbed the mountain. So it's definitely something to think about.
It definitely takes a lot of time. Small key. azder he sees it. Problem is, if this is not big, we gotta do coffee break room or leave. Oh, it is big.
Right. Yeah, no hookshot yet to Harapot here, but luckily we found the big key.
The only problem now is that there could be an item in the basement. We'll have to wait and see. Only 2 items in this dungeon.
Yeah, do you do basement here if there's still an item left after Moldorm?
It's one of those weird... there is an item. And it's one of those weird decisions you gotta make. Do you strand it?
Yeah. That is the noise I make, though, when I have to make that decision. It's me sighing for, for a while.
Yeah. It's a bad choice. It takes so long to get that item, but if it's something important...
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on how many other locations you have left and the density that... Are you just gonna make the play that you hope this is nothing?
Yeah. And how bad do you feel at that moment? Like, how far ahead do you think your opponent is?
Yeah, if you feel really behind, maybe you make the play hoping that your opponent will skip it, or vice versa. Depends on if you know your opponent or not.
Yeah. I think at this point, though, like, all of the options on the table are pretty bad. So if I'm azder, I'd be seriously considering it. He's gonna jump back in.
Good to see it. Well, if this is something important, this could be something that gives azder an advantage if Ack doesn't do it. So if you're cheering for azder, you're hoping for an important item down here.
Yep. Yeah, and with Ack having access to the whole dang mountain, Ack might not choose to do this. Or if he does do it, he might, you know, leave Hera and walk over to East Death Mountain, and if he still doesn't find anything after all those checks, maybe he comes back and does the basement. Something like that.
Okay. I was watching azder in Tower of Hera. Ack found Ice Rod in Skull Woods.
Oh, that's important.
But azder skipped it.
Yeah, that's really important. Well, I don't know. Not if we don't need anything in Total Rock, I guess, but...
Yeah, that's going to be extremely unimportant until it is absolutely required.
Yeah. Yeah, when Bombos is on the pedestal, it'll be pretty important.
Yeah, something like that. Or some other requirement. You know, bow on Trinex. Something ridiculous.
Oh god.
Because we still don't have a bow. Well, I guess there's 2 bows in the game, but other could be in GT.
Yeah, so, yeah, okay. So, I don't know. Keep an eye on that. I would say it probably won't come into play, but it could.
Yeah. We can think up a lot of pretty insane situations, but we'll try to keep to what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, Chad is already coming up with all of the worst ones. We don't need to contribute.
You know, Ped into Turtle Rock and the...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got conversations of how Hookshot could be on Ped. Yeah, that would do it.
It's all they talk about, and one of these days, one of these scenarios is actually going to happen. Anyway, azder is going to Hobo. This actually makes me a little nervous that azder is going to fake flipper down to Zora, which will make Catfish a little less appealing.
Oh, that's so true. If he does Zora now, that would actually be terrible.
Sorry, not a fake flipper, but a real flip, an authentic flipper to Hobo.
It looks the same on screen.
Yeah.
Oh. No, not Zora. So, good sign.
Well, this could actually be it if azder heads east and gets to Catfish that way.
Just a note, Ack did skip the basement of Tower of Hera, but unfortunately that's not an important item.
Yep.
Azder's just had a little bit of bad luck of he's skipped a few of the wrong locations. And anything Ack has skipped has just turned out to be absolutely nothing.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, like, the flute didn't really hurt too much, especially since Ack found it so late. azder found it at a point when he needed to start using it, right? So it was okay. And same with the Tempered Sword. So those weren't really a huge deal, but that hammer, if azder doesn't find it soon, yeah, could be significant, because as you see over on Ack's side, Ack's able to do all of these mountain checks right now and find, I don't know, a book like he just did.
So are we going to see the Dark Roll checks into maybe Ether Tablet?
I mean, probably.
And then can come back and do Spike Cave before leaving as well.
Yeah.
Just fully clear everything here.
Yeah, seems pretty dang good to me. Yeah, we'll see if he opts to dip back into Hera when he's over there too. But yeah, with the mirror and the mitts for your first time up the mountain, you're able to be pretty thorough.
Oh, azder, yes.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Oh, actually, yeah, the other kind of important thing to note that we didn't talk about is Ack found his first bottle.
Yep, first bottle was in Paradox.
Paradox.
So that gives us one more check to do.
It's a 50-minute first bottle. It's pretty
Yeah.
late.
Yeah, so go mode on Sick Kid or something. It seems normal, right?
Ooh, ether, so that's a lovely sign. We have Turtle Rock access.
Right. Like a lot of Turtle Rock access. Like all of it.
Yeah. Or just the entrance.
Oh wait, nope, yep, you're right. We don't have Cane yet. But once we find that Cane... I just started playing this game. I have no idea what's happening. Ack is trying to hover Hookshot Cave.
Yep, definitely watch this. Definitely watch the hover, or at least hover attempt.
He's really going for it. Here's the third attempt.
Must be confident that he can get it. Yep. Halfway. Come on. Oh, that was scary. And he made it. For a boomerang.
Sure.
Of course it is.
Well, Ack is taking all this time to do this. azder over there catching up.
Oh! That was so close. I thought Ack had that.
Yeah.
Leaving the one last chest. Unfortunately, the hover did not give him anything important. Just the red boomerang.
Well, he earned our respect and admiration, right? Well, you called it. Doing this tablet check. Ooh.
Oh, that is an extremely important tablet check.
Yeah.
Well, I did say earlier that there would be something important on tablet.
Oh yeah. How'd you do that?
You get lucky one in every 10 or 15 races.
Yeah, just say enough stuff. Eventually it works out. Right, Ack heading into Spike Cave here, and as long as azder takes a similar route, which I have to imagine he will also find that bow. After he finds this book. Nothing in Spike Cave, though.
Oh, yeah, so there's the other one. Just a reminder that if our runners save and quit in the Dark World, they will be put back up top Pyramid because they have both defeated Aga and have Mirror.
Yep, so Ack... heading over to Pod.
Completable.
Yeah, does need to finish Eastern, but both runners did clear out most of Eastern. I don't remember if there's an item on Armor's Knights or not. But I don't think you take this route without planning on dipping into Pod, so... Ack did this in Game 1 as well. Like, there is a completable Ice Palace on the board right now, which is a required Pendant Dungeon, but Ack opting to head over to Pendant Pod, or required Crystal Dungeon, I should say. Ice Palace is place, but yeah.
We'll be seeing Pod before Eastern, but as you said, it's almost definite that he'll do it immediately after this. Just to get the crystal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. In my view, in Game 1, this is what cost Ack a lot of time, is opting to head over to Pendant Pod rather than just chasing Crystal Dungeons. So, to your point earlier, there's usually progression in here. I'm sure Ack believes there will be. Well, we're about to find out.
If in his mind this is something that normally has progression, then he's making what he believes to be a statistical play, and even though it didn't work out last time, if it works out more than half the time, then it's a good play.
Yeah. Yeah, but we love the gambler's fallacy here at Link to the Past Randomizer, don't we?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, azder is about to pick up that bow.
You know, I was just gonna say there was a series I was watching the other day where in the first game the hookshot was in the first chest of Ice Palace, and in their second game the hookshot was on Polster.
Oh, good.
It's like, so it's when they found it the second time, it was like, of course it's in here again.
Yep. I don't think the bot that rolls these seeds has a memory, but I don't know. I am merely human. I don't know how these things work.
Haven't found anything important in pod quite yet.
Yeah. azder's taking the route you would take, though, if you're planning on going to pod, so we're gonna end up not too far apart.
I mean, it does make a lot of... We're gonna get the hammer in.
Yep. azder lost Kiki there for a second. You don't see that too often.
Sometimes those enemies can kind of deceive you and you gotta go back.
Yep. A whole lot of nothing so far in pod, but that's pretty normal with all those keys up front. At least 4 up front always. Act thinking about leaving. Looked like.
Decides not to. He still did get one chest right in the middle of the main room as well.
Yeah, sometimes you hold off on that one depending on the amount of keys you find up front, because that is one of a couple checks in this dungeon that you can sort of infer has to be a small key depending on what you find elsewhere, so yeah, makes sense. azder, on the other hand, starting with Eastern, though.
You know, I don't really blame him. He's got Tempered, he's got Bow, he's got Half Magic. What could he possibly find in Pod that's going to make it any easier?
Yeah, and you got to do it.
Yeah. Are we? Okay. We're seeing Helmstor.
Yeah, did Act do the basement? I mean the, you know, the one room. Yeah, the dark basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he did everything in the back.
Okay.
The only thing that I think he skipped was that center chest in the main room.
Got it. Alright, well, this is green pendant, right? At least if I squint my eyes hard enough, I can see the little asterisk next to the pendant icon. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah, azder picks up that crystal.
Taking the crystal lead. Won't be for too long, because this is just a routing difference. But
Yep.
it does take the crystal lead.
Yep. Yeah, azder, yeah, that may or may not fully clear this out. I've definitely seen people dip out of pod early. But usually you do that when you find something, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the runners are probably coming in here because they're expecting to find some sort of progression, and there just really isn't anything. So the big question is, will he go all the way back to Helmstor or not?
Yeah.
And is Helmstor something important?
Yeah, and the options at this point are all pretty bad. There's Back of Thieves Town, Ice Palace with Arcana Samaria, or Pod here.
Yeah, and without Kane and without Hookshot, there's a chance that even completing Ice Palace is out of logic.
Mm-hmm.
They won't really know until they get in and take a look at the key layout.
Well, everything you just watched is happening once again, so strap in, folks.
I think this is a good time actually to remind everyone to follow the runners. They've been doing a really good job today in this game and the previous game if you watched it.
Yep. Yeah, Ack has been a blast on commentary this tournament, and it's a great follow, and azder as well. Very, very good at this game. So yeah, give them both a follow. And hey, as long as we're here, shout out to Akuhaish on tracking.
For sure. Our trackers just make our jobs as commentators so much easier.
Yep, I don't have to think about anything. It's awesome.
So, I guess thoughts on next steps? As you said, there's nothing good left.
You got to make the Ice Palace play, right?
I think so. It's completable. Whether or not it's logic, we'll find out, but they can do it.
Yeah.
It requires the Ice Palace bomb jump, which some runners have gotten a little bit rusty on now that they're so used to Icebreaker.
Yeah. I don't know. The upside of just heading over to a crystal dungeon that you can complete is more up on the upside than the alternatives at this point, right?
Yeah. Fully agree. There is the potential that something happens like we find Cane of Samaria in Misery Mire.
Yeah, we still need Bombos though, right? We haven't found Bombos.
Oh,
yet.
right, we need Bombos. Axe showing off the if you're holding an item, you won't actually get taken by the mirror portal back to the Dark World.
It's a great trick. That's a really common place to walk out of pod and... Oh!
Speaking of Samaria.
Wow. Well, Ack feels great. And azder is also going to feel great because azder's heading up to King Helmasaur as well.
So, yeah, now definitely go do Ice Palace. If you wanted to do it before the Cane of Samaria, you really want to do it now.
Yep. I'm sure you're getting excited to talk about that bomb jump, but better luck next time, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the runners are going to be a lot happier with this. This is a much better route. Much easier trick, too.
Oh, it's significantly faster, for sure. I think it's a little less than significantly faster when you're full clearing the dungeon. Or is it the other way around? When you're in go mode, it's... I don't know. One or the other is not much faster, but... I always like to have the red cane. It feels a lot faster.
I agree. And the thing, too, for anyone that's learning or doing, it also feels more straightforward. If you're not fully comfortable with the dungeon, the rope is a lot easier to figure out.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely becomes very, very linear with you only really having to make a choice near the end on whether to go into Ice Tea Room when you take the route that you were seeing over on Ack's side of the screen.
Meanwhile, azder taking down Helmasaur.
Yeah, nicely done. We are extremely healthy and well-equipped at this point, so no surprise that we're just seeing easy breezy boss fights.
We got a fetch quest.
Oh, good.
Magic powder.
I mean, we did see both runners save scum their mushroom, but, you know, that's not logic, of course, so yeah, it's something you actually start thinking about now.
Ack remembering to bomb this floor, too.
Without the hook shot.
Yeah, without the hook shot, because with the hook shot, you don't normally do it because it's faster just to go to the right. Easier. But, yeah, you You gotta bomb the floor with a hook shot.
Yeah. Yeah, good eye.
Dude.
That's really easy to forget.
Yeah, definitely don't try to do the mirror block delete in there, because mirror does something else in the dungeon, doesn't it?
I think it's a rite of passage for people new to running this game. Just 20 rupees, a nice tea room though. Well, it's looking more and more like Turtle Rock as we, you know, do checks and don't find that Bombos medallion.
Oh, that would actually be so bad if it's something like a Trinex Bombos. Azder would be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the chat dream of Pendant. Or Pendant Pedestal, rather.
Yeah. That's about the same as having it on Trinex at this point.
Yeah.
Some question is the ice rod. The issue here is that the ice rod is in the chest under the bridge in Skull Woods, and Azder has completed the dungeon and skipped that check. So if it is required, he's extremely unlikely to be going back there for a while. And in the time I tried to explain that, Ack defeated a boss.
Yeah, really nice cold stir fight over on Ack's side. Yeah, I mean, this is how often do we see this, right? It's like, do we go all the way up the mountain to do some checks, or back to the back of Pendant Thieves Town? It just comes up over and over again.
What about front of Swamp?
Yep, could absolutely be front of Swamp. Couple accessible checks without the hookshot in Swamp.
Oh, yes, it could. The other fetch quest.
Oh.
Ah! There it is. Wow, so that 50-minute fetch quest of the bottle did pan out.
It really did, yeah. So we're just looking for a hookshot at this point. That is good news for Azder, though, because, like we're saying, the less likely something on Trinex or Pedestal is, the better. And, yeah.
The big thing is that hookshot now.
Yep.
Unfortunately, everything we were talking about Bombos still applies for hookshot as well.
Yep, you do not need the hookshot for Turtle Rock, even though you make good use of it. You don't need it. But Meyer, the obvious play here.
Yeah, for sure. Again, completable crystal. Why not?
Yep.
That bird was not cooperative today.
It's one of the worst enemies in the game. Like, those sword beams are so valuable here.
Oh, yeah.
So we have fire rods, so we'll be okay in the second room. But you know.
Yeah.
That was a pretty darn nice Meyer too.
Yes, it was. Getting everything on that cycle feels great when you actually pull it off.
Yeah.
Boss fight on Azder's side. Here comes Cold Stare.
Yep. Blink and you miss it again, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially with Fire Rod tempered. Yep, there it is. Done.
Yeah, one of those puffs got away from him just a little tiny bit, but I'd be a stickler to take issue with that fight. Alright, through Meyer we go. Only 2 items in here and a million keys, so could be a little bit before we find it.
Yep. The roading for this dungeon is always interesting to see what different people do, trying to skip cutscene chests, for example.
Yep. Of course, if we see a small key here... Nope. I was gonna say, if we see a small key in that chest, it means cutscene chest has the big key, but hey, we found the big key! So I imagine Ack gonna clear out those 2 checks over on the right side, and then we'll see if he opts to head down or just go right to Vitreous. Chat talking about, do you go to Turtle Rock or do you check Vanilla, Hookshot, and Swamp? What do you think?
Oh, that feels bad either way. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. It's tough because like once you go up to Turtle Rock, you're committing to clearing that dungeon out, especially if you're Ack and you have the ice rod, right?
Yeah. The problem with just doing Swamp is that it's just gonna be such a huge time loss if it ends up not being there. But if it is there, it's too big a time loss not to do it.
Yeah.
it becomes a gamble either way.
Yep, this is what makes Rando, is choices like that.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter how well you've done everything else, you just gotta make that choice at the end.
Right. Alright, Ack did skip cutscene chest. So working his way through the basement here.
Unfortunately, I wasn't counting. Do we have one item left in here or 2?
I believe there's an item left. Jack can correct me. I only saw 10 arrows in the big chest.
Oh, none.
Okay.
So then that definitely makes sense why
okay.
He skipped. Yeah, 20 rupees. I remember that one. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, makes complete sense. Why would you go check that? Okay, on this Vitreous fight.
Doing the fight without silvers and without using an invulnerability item is always interesting.
Yeah, using those classic sort of NMG strats of getting hit by the slime and then doing a sword spin and all the eyeballs really cut it close on health there, but...
Are you looking at Azder's screen?
Yep. Azder is making the Turtle Rock play.
It's an interesting play considering how fast Sick Kid and Magic Bat would be to check with a flute.
The rough thing about this, yeah, is if, I don't know, Hookshot is just hanging out right in the front of Turtle Rock here, Azder is probably going to go all the way back looking for Bombos.
And doesn't have the ice rod, so even if it is all the way on, say, the boss or on Pet, that's still unfortunate.
Yeah. Ack is going to Swamp.
If you're cheering for Azder here, you're pretty much hoping that Hookshot is on something like Laser Bridge, so they both have to go all the way back there one way or the other.
Right.
A little bit of talk, because Azder showed it off there. Yes, Turtle Rock's right foot is a triple.
Yeah, he did that in game 1 too, and pulled some full magic refills.
That was small this time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Azder making the
Yep.
normal mistake. You can't do this route without Hookshot.
Well.
I think almost every runner has done that at some point.
Yeah, more than once. Yeah, of course, the fast way to do it if you have the Hookshot is to take the route that Azure did and then hookshot yourself into the pit. But, you know, without the hookshot, can't do that. Ack making a play that I completely forgot about, too.
It's another 2 locations.
Yep. And with Aga being completed, you have the super nice route.
Yeah, through the light world. Much faster that way.
Yeah, so Ack was not heading to swamp, actually. This is what we were doing. Whew.
Nope.
Alright, well now what does Ack do?
The flute unfortunately does not tell us anything. Mountain.
Yep. Well, this makes it a little less likely that Azder's going to make up time, unfortunately.
Yeah, because no matter where it is, if it's in Turtle Rock, Ack will leave immediately upon finding the hook shot, as it is his go mode.
Right. Let's see, Ack did... Okay. I want to say Ack skipped Hair Basement there, but it's obviously going this way, so we don't have the hook shot. Never mind.
You know, I'm looking, that sick kit had such an important item, and we still have 1 bottle an hour and 20 minutes in. There's 4 of them somewhere in this seed.
Yeah.
We found 3 swords immediately, but no bottles.
Luckily, we've this season's been pretty generous with health, so it hasn't really mattered too much. But yeah, it's definitely caused them to, well, be in this position where Azder hasn't checked Sick Kid yet. We've been through Village of Outcasts and Kakariko so many times now. All right, in the Mimic Cave we go. At this point, those 20 rupee drops could be just about anything. They could be health upgrades, could be another bow, sword, you name it.
Yeah, we've hit max on pretty much everything, I think.
Right.
So if you're just joining us, we are basically on a big hookshot quest at this point.
Yeah, it's really come down to Ack found the hammer a little bit early, or a bit earlier than Azder did on Catfish, and that allowed Ack to fully clear out the mountain his first trip up. So that lost Azure a bit of time, and the current situation is that Bombos medallion on Sick Kid that Ack has and Azure does not.
Well, yeah. We're filling in the whole screen here.
Another bottle.
Ah, there's one.
And bombs.
You know, I was talking about us being maxed on most things, but we're actually not maxed on shields yet. We technically still do have some shields out there in the pool.
Yep, yeah, that's right.
we all forget about those.
Yeah, easy to forget about those when they do practically nothing. But yeah, I guess Laser Bridge is a good reminder of shields. Hey, they exist.
It's the one actual place where shields are helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that, or I don't know, I guess the blind fight? Sort of.
Red shield on blind has saved me more than once.
Yeah. Alright, Azure gonna check Bombo's tablet here before doing Sick Kid. I wonder if this is a tell that it's gonna head over to Swamp right after this.
If Ack finds Hookshot on Trinex or behind Trinex, there's unfortunately Esther's in a lot of trouble.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be seeing a game 3, I think, if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah, this could very well turn into an all dungeon seed for Ack. Has defeated Aga, has already finished one pendant dungeon, about to finish a second pendant dungeon.
Yeah. I mean, so if Azder finds Hookshot here, and then immediately goes to Meyer, while Ack, I don't know, goes to Thieves Town. I was trying to think of scenarios, but
Azure still has to go back to Sick Kid first.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Which is the big. But yeah, assuming he goes, finds it, finishes this, goes straight to Sick Kid. There could be a potential there.
I mean, I don't think you go to Thieves Town before checking Sick Kid, since you have to fly to that spot anyway. So I find it hard to believe that Azure's going to do Thieves Town at this point. If the Hookshot isn't in Swamp here. But yeah, that's the only scenario I'm coming up with that could close the gap a little bit.
Yeah.
And remember the big key? I mean, it wasn't deep in Meyer, but it was, you know, the third check in Meyer.
But it is right next to the path to the back, which is nice.
Right. But yeah, Ack had to spend a little bit more time finding items. He had to go open the big chest, so Azure's able to go mode Meyer. It gets him a little bit of time.
Ack can be finds that bottle.
Yeah.
But it can be finding out the bad news, nothing on Laser Bridge.
He's heading to Trinex, though.
I mean, why wouldn't you at this point? You're in this dungeon, you're at the back, you have the items, you have to do it.
Oh, 100%, yep. So, keep a close eye on what Ack digs up here.
Ack taking a small hug from that Trinex head.
Yeah, Naster over to left side swamp without a hook shot. It feels terrible. Could be there, though.
Yeah, it feels terrible is the perfect way to describe this. The fact that you have to do one side, drop down, get all the way back to the front, go all the way back up, and then go to the other side is so annoying.
Yeah, and yeah, we had found all the items in Turtle Rock, so Ack, yeah, just killing Trinex there because of the pedestal possibility.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is skip Trinex and then find out that you need to do ped and come all the way back and do the dungeon all over again. Oh, Ack heading over to Thieves Town. Maybe checking ped first. Nope, Thieves Town.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You're going there anyway, right? Like,
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, Ack is pretty much going to have an all dungeon seed. He may or may not defeat Blind, but he's beaten everything except fully the back of Thieves Town at this point.
Yep, Nastro has a big key.
And
I mean, this is your race right here, right?
Oh, it's not there.
It's 20 rupees, so it's gonna be either in Thieves Town here or on Pedestal.
That is not good news for Azder. I mean, if he goes straight to Thieves Town, that could be okay. Go to Thieves Town. He'll be still quite behind, but go to Thieves Town, stop at Sick Kid, get both items.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna check Pyramid Fairy first.
I don't blame him.
No, that's 100% the time you do that, right? You're right there. And like we were saying earlier, especially with Egg being dead, it's even a bit faster.
More green 20s for Ack. Oh boy, this is rough. As it gets quiet because we're just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, what more is there to say? It's like we're gonna find Hookshot here, or find it after this. Yeah, we do have a key, so we're gonna open that big chest.
We are still missing the map, so there's one item left. Okay.
Yeah, we just had to delay the knowledge a bit further.
All dungeons and pet check for Ack. Like, why not just call it a 100% race?
Yeah.
It's gonna get pretty close.
So, I mean, Azder's in Thieves Town here. He just hasn't done Myra yet, right? So, I don't know.
If Hookshot is on Blind, Azder is about a dungeon behind, a little more than a dungeon behind.
Right.
If Hookshot is on Ped, Azder is a lot behind.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure Azder knows there's a check left in Skullwoods, but...
Just when you go back and do it. Oh no! Oh no!
Well, congratulations to chat. We're heading up to the pedestal. Reminder that this
pedestal pull at like 133 with the last location.
Reminder too, this is game 2 of a doubleheader. They've been playing for hours at this point.
Yeah, I can imagine Ack is sitting there thinking, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yep.
It will definitely feel better about doing all the pedestal check or pendant dungeon checks.
Yeah, that choice to kill Trinex certainly.
Oh, there's some talk about you come here and Shovel shows up. Yeah, I mean it could.
Wow,
Oh,
it's
it's
Hookshot.
there.
Of course, chat would find a way to make this like the less bad option somehow.
132.15. Ack is in go mode after completing all but one dungeon.
Man, that's truly, 30 minutes, 40 even in some more extreme cases later than you've been seeing go mode and a lot of these other tournament races. This has been an endurance run for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Azure, this is terrible news.
Yep. So Azder's probably gonna head down to Sick Kid after this, and then unless he completely forgot about the other Skullwoods check, he's gonna head there after that.
Yeah, because he's running out of things to do. But
Oh, nice blind fight anyway.
yeah. I mean, Azder has been doing a very good job throughout this entire race. Won the first race earlier today, played very well this time, just left a few checks that weren't necessarily bad checks to leave. They were just the wrong ones for this particular randomized seed.
Yep. Yeah, it's a bit of a meme, I guess, to just say like, you know, you get randoed sometimes in rando, because what does that mean? But I mean, that's really what you just saw with yeah, just missing some of these checks, unfortunately. And the Ice Rod, both the Ice Rod and Bombos could have been anywhere.
Yeah. Where is Azure going? Oh, Spike Cave.
Spike Cave. I'm a little nervous at this point that he's just forgotten about Sick Kid, because normally you would do that right out of Thieves Town. It's right there.
Yeah, right there you have your what, like 30 steps away?
Yeah. But Axe showing off why Go Mode Swamp feels good, and not Go Mode Swamp feels bad. He's most of the way through the dungeon already. Doesn't need to, like, there's nothing else he can find at this point. He doesn't even need to check those sunken chests.
Nope, I mean, if you look at his tracker, the only things he's missing is a boomerang, Quake, a shovel, and 2 shields.
Some people do like that blue boomerang.
I mean, sure, but in Go Mode, you're not going out of your way for it.
No, of course not.
And Quake is not a particularly helpful medallion. Especially not when you have the other two.
Yeah, unless you're playing Tracker Bingo or something, I think we're going to see very few chest openings from here on out. Till we get to GT, and then a whole bunch more.
That was a really good Argus phase 1.
Yeah.
Let me change that. That was a very good Argus fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets if you're not using poke strats. So, nice job on X side.
We've got numbers in chat. Do you want to explain what these are?
Well, back in the day, we used to have a bot. And that bot would look at those numbers you're putting in chat, and it would compare them with which check in Ganon's Tower the big key was located in. But, well, we had to send the bot off to a farm upstate, and now it's just for fun. So, get those predictions in. And I believe we're doing a channel point prediction as well. So, yeah, have fun. I don't know. What do you think, Zethno? Where's it going to be?
Well, the prediction here is left side versus right/back. So that's definitely interesting. I normally say 8, which would put me on left side. What about you?
I always go with 11. So, those are some numbers.
8 on 11 are numbers. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. Ezra did eventually find Vombos, so that's good. Working his way through Meyer. Yeah, Ack about to enter GT.
Unfortunately, that fire rod is just in such a bad location for him now. So when do you go back? When do you go all the way back to the back of Skullwoods to go get that one item you left?
Yeah, I mean, if Azder, knows there is an item there and didn't forget about it, it just has to be one of those choices where it's like, well, if it's here, I'm I'm screwed, right? So I'm just gonna put it off until absolutely last.
Last location. Ooh, left side start.
Yeah, in we go. Number 1 is a small key, so condolences to everyone who said 1.
Always nice to have that early key, though.
Totally, yeah.
No, it was a key, just the wrong size.
Yep. Alright, number 2 is some arrows. 3 is 20 rupees. 4 is 20 rupees. And 5 is a key.
Ooh, we're getting Dark Magician strats today. Go to the top left room there, and go to the right side.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, a lot of people will opt to not fight those Stalfos enemies and just mirror over to the side instead, since they are super annoying. Yeah, going left first also just guarantees that you're going to find a key to be able to continue on this side too, so pretty common route. Oh my god, did you see all of those eyeballs just explode? That was beautiful.
I wish. Unfortunately, I was watching Ack.
Yeah, really nice early viddy fight there on Azder's side.
And 8. Hey, shield.
11 is a bottle.
Hey, there's another bottle. We have 3 now.
That feels more normal than where we were at for most of the scene.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Azder, Skullwoods, please. Please tell us you didn't miscount. Oh, gotta do this chest first. That's fine. $12 is the map. I think that was 12.
Yes. 12 is the map. So deeper we go, because the seed could not ask more of our racers. The big key is going to be pretty deep.
Tile room.
Nope.
As soon as I say it, the runners prove me wrong. This is what I mentioned earlier. They're really good at that.
Yeah.
13.
13. Congratulations on, well, whatever it is you get for guessing right.
Oh, well, we hit a bunch of 13s throughout, so I'm just going to say congratulations to everybody that guessed it.
Yep, it was an unlucky seed, so it's appropriate.
While we have Azder waiting for the cutscene and Ack climbing GT.
And Azder's screen looks wild right now. Alright, the shaking has stopped. Yeah, I'm not sure if Azder... I know one of the items is in the big chest, so I'm not sure if he miscounted or just did cutscene chest before the big chest. Probably the latter there.
Yeah, Azder is looking for something, so there must be something we didn't get yet.
But, yeah, blink and you missed it. Zach's already through the gauntlet. Gets a single phase Limo 2 fight. Really nice.
Ah, there it is. There was a green 20 left on the right side. Ash just checking his map. That's not a good sign for
Yeah.
He might have missed getting scoreboards.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I've certainly been here with that chest in particular, right? It's really easy to take down Moth and just keep going, or just leave, right?
Oh yeah, I think most runners have done it at some point.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at your tracker later. If you have the chest there, you're going, yeah, no, I completed this dungeon. You just click it off because you think you've already done it.
Yep. Alright, picking up the very welcome fairies and magic refill, and it's in about as good of a position as you can be at this point in a race.
Ooh, Azure, yes, no. Ah, I'm not sure he's done magic that yet. Or maybe he did, he's checking. He's checking
I don't know. Yeah, he thinks maybe he didn't get the Smith reward.
Yeah, he's definitely doesn't know what he left out. And Aga 2. A little geometry test.
Nice. If that was a triple, looked like a triple, that's a nice triple.
Yep. Oh!
Oof.
That would have been triple if Aga had cooperated. Maybe not?
Yeah, one of them didn't count in the first cycle, so we will simply have to accept 3 cycles.
I mean, that's what people target, to be fair.
No, that's very good.
Yeah, 3 cycles is as
super
good
good.
as you can really hope for, and when you get really lucky with that 2 cycle, you're just really happy.
Yeah, no, that was a really nice Acktheboker fight on Ack's side. Azder, going in the right direction.
Yup. Did he remember? Question is, does he go straight to the back? Does he know where it is? He knows where it is.
Alright, well, we do have a Ganon fight happening over on Ack's side. Phase 1, very quick. Phase 2, looking very quick.
Yep. Very well done. Into phase 3. You're almost definitely going to be seeing a torch glitch. If Ack is able to light the left torch before the right one goes out, the right one will never go out.
Yeah, that's one of those, if you're new to Rando, one of the first minor glitches you can pick up. It's just light that torch as soon as it goes out.
Yeah, and the nice thing is if you do have lamp and you're learning it, you can literally just stand in front of the torch, as you see here, and just spam it until...
Heck, that's what I do.
Yeah, it's the safest way to do it, so all the experienced runners will do the same thing, just if you really don't want to accidentally miss it.
Yeah.
Getting that lighting with a fire rod is a little more difficult.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can sort of time it with, as the last tile over on the left falls, you can shoot your fire rod, but it's tight. So, yeah, really nice phase 4 so far on X side. Want to hit Ganon as soon as he becomes vulnerable, which only lasts about a frame. And he does it. And yeah, get your GGs in chat for Ack. He's going to take this game too.
Just a quick note, Azure has found the ice rod and is heading over to Turtle Rock.
Yep.
At this point, he does know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, Ack's going to take game 2 and even the series up at a game apiece with an official racetime.gg time of 1:47.22. Y'all got your GGs in already, I see them.
Yeah. Very well done by Ack.
Yeah, like we said, that was an endurance run. That was one of the longer seeds I've seen in this tournament. So much needed rest over on both of these runner sides after we wrap up here.
Yeah. Looks like azder is gonna keep pushing to get a completion here.
Yep. Not sure if azder actually checked pedestal with that book or not. I guess when you have like 2 checks left, one is Trinex and one is the pedestal, you might as well just head up to Trinex, right?
Yeah, because you need Trinex to do pedestal.
Yeah.
So either way, you're coming here.
All right. All right, I am getting note that we do have a race at 9:10 right here on SG3. It's going to be GFE and TJ Maelstrom. So we'll see if we can get Ack in for a quick chat. But either way, stay tuned for more rando action. Would not be surprised if Ack is just asleep already, though.
It was definitely a long 2 races for the 2 of them, back to back. So, and the runners are playing with a 10-minute time delay, so there's a little bit of trying to figure out. Okay, that's unfortunate.
azder took poor azder.
Death in 2 rooms before Trinex.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, azder knows he's finished at this point, or knows Ack is finished at this point, but it's gonna grit his teeth and wrap her up. Yeah, as we sort of wrap up here today, the story of the seed really was that ice rod. We had some hammer finding divergence and a few plays here and there made differently, but it's ultimately what it came down to is track your items, kids.
Yeah, that's definitely the unfortunate thing in this particular case. It does mean that we will be getting a game 3 from these 2 runners, though, which will be happening tomorrow at 7:10 Eastern. So definitely see if you can tune in to try to catch some of that. We don't quite have a channel for it at the moment. We don't know if it will be on one of these restreams or not, but definitely don't forget to follow the SpeedGaming channels to try to keep an eye on that, as well as the runners, because it always helps to support them. They both played very well, and yeah, gave us something to watch.
Yep. Yes, they did. Yeah, give them a follow. Yeah, we typically schedule our races day before here, and since that is a game 3 if you need it situation, we're going to be figuring that out. Or the admins are going to be figuring that out over the next few hours, whether you'll be able to watch that tomorrow. But yeah, like Zethno said, just follow all those SpeedGaming channels. There is so much rando happening, and especially here in round 1 of the bracket phase, there's a lot of games happening at a very high level. So follow those channels and tune in. I think we should probably start wrapping her up here, given that we have another race coming up. Any closing thoughts on the seeds, Ethno?
No, I basically said my thing. I think both players did really well, and I just want to give them both GGs. And Airship, thanks for commentating with me. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks to Akuhaish as well again. who, man, clicked a lot of buttons this seed.
Almost all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our tracker.
Have chat clamoring for the collection rate. So stay tuned. Hopefully you get eyes on that in the next few minutes.
Yeah, we'll leave this part up, I think, until at least we get that collection. I think the collection's going to be pretty high, considering what Ack had to actually do to finish this seed.
Yep. Yeah, Ack was able to go mode Swamp, and but did check a lot in GT, so it's going to be pretty high. Yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, with all of that said, yeah, thanks to you as well, Seth. No, I agree. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, like I said, don't go anywhere. Coming up on SG3 right here, GFE and TJ Maelstrom in, gosh, 5 minutes. Stay tuned. Yeah, thanks for watching, folks.